have with us Bhavani, Jois, and Vivek Agrawal. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Bhavani, for agreeing to be on our panel today. So, quick introduction. Both of them have been on our Regal Live previously, so they don't need any words. But still, I'll quickly introduce both of you. Bhavani is an executive leadership coach who focuses on risk and audit, and she's also the membership director for ICF Bengaluru chapter. Vivek is a leadership coach who recently uh, gave up actually incidentally both of them resigned to become full-time coaches and made a transition for the next leg of their career. And Vivek is also actively involved as a member of the MC of the ICF Delhi chapter. And both of them were participants of Coaching Unlimited, Bhavani of the second edition and Vivek of the fifth edition. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So without further ado, with your permission, coaches, I'll get into the topic at hand. So as you're familiar, both of you did attend the 4 days program, 3 days program, when it was in the form of 3 days, with 1.5 days focusing on coaching competencies and 1.5 days on the business of coaching. So Bhavani, how did coaching mastery help you deepen coaching practice?
Okay, I have to give context as to where I went, how my state of mind was, because at that time, and this is for anybody out there who is feeling that they're losing touch, So coaching, I think Coaching Unlimited can cater for people who want to deepen their competency, but also people who have been doing coaching for a while, but just somehow feeling that need to pull everything back together. So for me, it was that I was in a bit of a lull, and when I went, I felt a little vulnerable, but it was a great, I call it a playground. It was a great playground. It's not a tablet, it's not a medicine you swallow, right? It was a playground that let me truly practice in a safe space with very senior people observing me, my competencies. I made mistakes, I got called out for it, but it was great because when I left that Coaching Unlimited, I wrote a blog about it, by the way, it's on LinkedIn, about how that recharge set me up. I mean, it was after that I then, was really focused on my PCC, and about a year and a half later, I finished it. So for me, that was how it was. It helps you gel everything together and practice in a safe space. Ask questions, clarify. It's a very intimate setting, I think, in that sense. So you feel very comfortable.
So Bhavan, you mentioned how it also helped you in PCC. So that's a very good segue to ask Vivek. Vivek, you had finished your ACC and you had started your PCC journey, and you also chose to attend Coaching Unlimited. Since you're already doing PCC at a deeper level, what prompted you to consider Coaching Unlimited?
Coaching Unlimited, I registered as soon as I registered for PCC. I remember very clearly. PCC batch started in Jan, 3rd or 4th Jan this year. Yeah. So what made me register PCC first? So I did my ACC. I thought that, okay, I am yet to give my ACC exam. And definitely PCC is going to help me deepen my coaching understanding, right? And then Coaching Unlimited came up as a complete package, of coaching mastery and business both. And once I had completed my ACC training, I was already going into that understanding of doing full-time coaching, for my life. I never knew when I would leave my job and get into it, but that doing a full-time coaching somewhere down the line was already in the back of my mind. I think that made me enter Coaching Unlimited, because Coaching Unlimited would give me a very broad playground, like Bhavani talked, right? Complete playground of all entire coaching mastery and a business aspect as well, because that business understanding was very important. How to make coaching as a business. So that's what prompted me to take up Coaching Unlimited. And I thank God and thank everyone that I enter into it.
You mentioned their edition of Coaching Unlimited was very deep, and also the first non-residential version of Coaching Unlimited. And your version, Vivek, your edition was one of the most fun-filled Coaching Unlimited editions, as your cohort likes to proudly say.
Yeah.
So Bhavani, you were very pretty clear that you would like to make a transition from corporate to full-time coaching, but niche is something that you struggled with. And before we joined this live in the studio, you were mentioning about your journey. Why don't you share it with the audience?
Okay. When you are transitioning, so this happened towards the third week of April 22. I had gone part time on 1st April 22. So it was I was in that vulnerable space of, what do I do now? This is real, right? This is actually going to happen. And during Coaching Unlimited, PK took a session in which he talked about niching, and niching, and when you're new into this space, and for those who are new, you feel like there's not going to be enough work for you. There is that mindset. Any coach you can ask them, they always feel like, oh my God, I need to be everything to everyone so that anything that hits my net, I'll take, right? And that's a mindset. But PK was vehemently like no, no, and no. And he gave a very clear picture of the funnel, how your leads come in, and how eventually, 200 leads may give you 2 clients, but that's the reality. The question was, and he said something very nice, which I really remember. He said, can you be, how will 7 billion people in this world, let's say, find you if you are everything to everyone? Right. And for me that was like, yeah, how will you find, like, if I want to fix my BMW car, I'm not going to go to any garage. I would go to the BMW specialist, right? That's how, and that's why they put all these things, luxury cars and all of that. So I knew I had to find my niche, and that comes to the second struggle. So for me, the awakening around niching came in that conversation. That it's kind of had to sit with it for a while. Like, you have to find your niche, because the more specific you are, the more visible you are. It's like you are the red. If you see, if you're in a crowd of people, you are the one wearing that light that's shining because people can see you. And then I said, okay, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm all these things. Who do I want to find? And that's a journey. That I probably a year I took to decide. And my peers will know how many coaching sessions I had on niching, this trying to find that clarity. But you have to do it, and that's how the if those who want to figure out how and when and why, and they somewhere in that journey, then I think that really helped me, including whether you should be a pure coach with something else, which segment, which discipline. There are so many cuts to niching, and that also came up for conversation. So I think that's, but eventually, 3rd October 2024, I launched my website, and I clearly called out that I am going to be an executive and leadership coach working with risk and audit professionals, because that's who I am. And if for nothing else, the people I know most will find me easily. That was the logic.
That's brilliant. And dear viewers, both Vivek and Bhavani have their websites now. If you Google both of them, of course, bhavanijois.com and vivekagrawal.com will take you to their website. So, Bhavani, you mentioned a beautiful statement that it was pretty obvious once you hit upon the niche, but the journey was actually pretty remarkable. Similarly, for me, the niche was obvious. I give credit to PK for helping me arrive at my niche also. It was pretty obvious, but it seemed obvious after I arrived at the niche. Till then, I was all over the place.
Yeah, I want to add one point, Anirudh, if I can, right? So Rekha, so I was talking to Rekha about this, and she was like, you want to coach a woman? There's a woman auditor. Whatever niche you pick, the person who comes in isn't going to drop everything else that they are and come only as that, right? There will be a woman, there'll be a parent, there'll be everything that you desire in the client you eventually see. And I think that was very powerful for me also. That those who feel like I want to do everything for everyone can do everything, but the people need to find you, and therefore be clear who you are trying to attract. I think that's the point.
And John also mentions that you can still take other work, just don't talk about it.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh, Vivek, how important do you feel now that you have become a full-time coach for the last few months? How important is mastery in the competencies for coaching well and thereby commercial success?
See, mastery is the most important. I remember I commented on one of the posts also of LinkedIn also, right, about coaching mastery. So when you move towards mastery, only then you are able to go to the depth of every aspect of coaching. Else it remains superficial. And coaching sessions can be successful only when the coach is able to go to depth with the client from, as we say, samudra manthan, right? So the real jewels come from samudra manthan, and a coach can do that manthan with the client only if the coach has mastery on that. The coaching aspects, all the aspects of coaching, right? We talk about coaching presence, we talk about active listening, right? We talk about listening actively, you know. So uh, these skills need to be mastered, and that mastery will happen over time. But those skills which you require to master those skills, those aspects of coaching, these are very important, and Coaching Unlimited is one such platform which helps us with the mastery. When we do our ACC training, PCC training, we do go to the depth, but not to the depth when we talk. See, on Coaching Unlimited, we have 3 master coaches coming up, sharing their experiences. The level of mastery which we can attain by listening to them and understanding their experiences is unmatched. That is where I feel coaching mastery is very important in deepening your coaching practice. And only with your deep coaching practice, you can help the client go deeper into their own areas, in their own problems. You can help the client introspect deeper. That is what I understand, I relate to with coaching mastery.
Thank you, Vivek. And Bhavani, your thoughts?
Yes, everything that Vivek said, and I would add one more thing. I think as you master your competencies, you also become more how do I say, your empathy for yourself, right? Because we don't get everything right. We don't get everything right. Coaches also get vulnerable. There's a bit of anxiousness also in that process. And I think when you get to mastery, your ability to release increases, if that makes sense, right? So because you know that it's okay, and rather than, oh my god, I messed up, right? You know that it's okay. And I think it's a very liberating feeling when you get to master your when you get to mastery. You also get some kind of liberation around your ability to coach, which I think, and that's a journey. Of course, it's a journey, but each time you connect with the intention to master your competencies, you increase that quotient just a bit more. I think, yeah. I mean, I get it just from just in the mentor, and John, recently we had the Cubbon Park couple of months back. And I mean, I felt forgiveness for myself because in that session, I could share with John how I felt about a session. And, the result was, so what, and you get to that space when you spend time with mastery, I think.
If brilliantly summarizes liberation and the importance of going deeper from an academic level, as Vivek mentioned in ACC, PCC, but taking it to a more practical level. That is the beauty of Coaching Unlimited. A question I have for both of you before we move to the business side is we have this exercise in Coaching Mastery where one of the mentor coaches volunteers to sit for the entire cohort to coach him. What stood out the most about it for you, Vivek, and then Bhavani? Bhavani, I'll give you some time to think about it because it's been quite some time since you had your edition.
So mm, I think what was unique about my experience that time when Subhash was there as the mentor coach in our coaching unlimited season. So all we were 12 to 14. We were around 12, 13 people, right, in the coaching unlimited, and everybody is concentrating on what the client is speaking, and everybody is trying to when everybody as a participant, I am able to think what others can think. There are a lot of thoughts which doesn't come to me. The unique thing was when I am the coach, only I think. When somebody else is the coach, the person coaches. You know, but when we all 14 are deeply involved on the same goal, I'm able to see and comprehend what level other people are able to think, which I am not able to. That was my takeaway from my uniqueness from that session. You know, what all I am not able to think. That's what stood out to me. That a lot of practice is still required. That was the eye opener for me. That a lot of practice is still required. A lot of depth is still required to reach that state where, because some questions were so powerful, and a powerful question need not be a powerful question. The question has to be a simple one, but in that particular moment, that becomes so powerful. So thinking of that simple question, being able to think of that simple question, I think that was a beauty, and that stood out for me from that session. Yeah.
The
Bhavani.
subtle difference you brought in between powerful question need not being a powerful question. It's very often the simple question that is very powerful.
Yep. Yep. What else? In some
What
situations, that
else?
what else is
Yes.
very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Bhavani?
If I remember, the way it came down for me was no matter no matter how masterful a coach is, and in this context, that coach is an expert, right? I think when they offer themselves to be in that space, um, I think you see them as a person. I think what I learned in that context is that no matter who your client is, right? And then in this case is somebody very senior, your mentor coach and everything else, right? At the end of the day, you see them as a person. They're vulnerable, they're human. And I think that for me that lifted and shifted to my clients also. You work with senior people, and I think we often get sometimes feel, I don't know what's the word, but feel a little overwhelmed by their gravitas and their experience and their status. But at the end of the day, they are a human, and you get to see that side of these senior people in this kind of context. And when they train you, they're supposed to be the trainer. But when you come into Coaching Unlimited, they are your friend, but your kind of mentor friend, almost your equal, but not quite, if that makes sense. You see them as a human in a different sense. I think that's very powerful and gives you a lot of encouragement to go out to the real world and work with your real clients who also may come from that space of experience and expertise.
So keeping it simple and to look at them as human. That is what we get to see. One thing we also cover in Coaching Unlimited is a demo of a chemistry session by PK. So we have seen many coaches who have seen a remarkable improvement in their conversions because of this chemistry session demo. Vivek, how was your experience? What was its impact on you? And Bhavani will follow up with that.
See, that coaching chemistry session was an eye opener, and very simply, I would say that that 25 to 30 minute session, which the demo session which PK did, that gave me an understanding what is required before the client will sign up for the engagement. Else, it was only knowing the client. For me, before that demo, chemistry was just knowing the client better. But that chemistry session told me what it requires, what the client should take away before the client is even ready to think about signing up for the engagement. So I think that was the power which I saw in that demo. And say after that, I have done around 8 to 10 chemistry sessions. I'm not talking about conversion, but at least now I know what to ask, and what that takeaway for the client should be in that 30 minutes. And that need not be a 30-minute only. So until I feel that, okay, the client has got what I thought the client should get, I continue the chemistry session. But now I know the content of it, and that was very powerful for me. Yeah.
And Vivek, many coaches are also not very comfortable selling coaching, right? So, did that process help you? Just like how the coaching process helps you coach, does the demo also act like a process for you?
So see, I have been a very bad salesman, and I always believed this since my entire professional journey. I did my first job was a sales manager. I didn't join. Then I did 3 months sales, and I was confirmed that I am not a salesperson. and that was the only thing which I was dreading, whenever I thought that okay, now coaching should be my full-time job. And then I got to know it involves sales. Full-time job means you have to earn, you have to do sales, and that's not my cup of tea. I should mention here that this entire Coaching Unlimited, the business section at least, that was an eye opener for me to understand how the business happens. Number one. Number two, sales should not be seen as sales. Sales is a service. I still remember that statement by Subhash in that Coaching Unlimited session. I have repeated this sentence multiple times to multiple of my own clients. Some people I am coaching, uh, they are not good at sales, and I love the fact that this coaching as a service, they realize themselves towards the end of the session, many of them. So this has what changed my view of the entire business and sales. In fact, one person just wanted to talk to me online. My book and appointment section is there in my LinkedIn. Somebody just booked an appointment for 15 minutes. The person is an IT service, ITES person, IT service person. The person is going to start a new company where he will sell the IT services himself. Earlier, he was a part of a company. And those 15 minutes, the only takeaway that person had was sales should be seen as a service. So that changed my life. That has changed that person's life. So for me, that was the biggest takeaway. And this coaching session and this chemistry session makes it easy for me to sell it as a service, not as a sales. So that's what my take on it is.
So it becomes very easy then once it's not selling, but offering in the genuine spirit of serving the client.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bhavani, how was the session for you?
The chemistry session. Oh, I think it was liberating because I talk a lot and it gave me permission to talk as well. I think it made me realize that is where the client sees you as a human. That somebody's not here to coach me. This is another person. I feel I share my story very, very liberally because I feel that that's how you get to know me. I ask them questions. I think that gave me permission to be myself rather than be somebody I was not, because I naturally say everything I think, and that allowed me to say everything I felt and show my vulnerabilities also and my struggles, because that makes me more accessible to the client.
So Bhavani, with your permission, I would like to ask you a coaching question. I noticed that every answer you use the word liberating. What does the word
Mhm.
liberating mean to you?
Um, Liberating today, I mean, it keeps changing today, right now. I'm saying this current avatar of me is freedom from judgment from others and myself also. I think for me that you always act in accordance with a particular mold or shape in the context you've been and everything. And I think for me, clarity of various things, clarity of my niche, clarity of how I should do certain things, how I can be, is therefore then leading me to the freedom from, or the freedom from the fear of being judged is probably the right thing. I'm not saying people are judging me, but I have the fear of being judged, and that liberation comes when I release that fear. I hope that answers the question.
There is no right or wrong answer anyway in coaching. I must
No, there is.
acknowledge your vulnerability as well as Vivek's to come and share such personal stories on LinkedIn. It takes a lot of courage to do that. I would like to acknowledge both of you. Now, as I just noticed, we're at 24 minutes into the live. If I may ask Bhavani, your closing thoughts. Why do you recommend Coaching Unlimited?
Okay, I wanted to say this as well. It's not for everybody. Don't waste time of your peers and your mentors by turning up because you have the money. I think you have to be there when you are body and mind ready to take the next step. Okay, so that's very important because everybody's investing time and you are part of that investment. And I think, and if you're a serious coach and you want to lift your game, both competency wise and, I mean, like PK recently said in one of the other Regal, I mean, lives, right? It is two sides of a coin. Your competency and your business have to go together. And many of us think if you're good coaches, things will happen by magic. It doesn't, and you therefore need to need to go there. And if you're serious about coaching, then this is a place to cultivate both. We spend so much time in our competency, we don't spend enough time on business. And like Vivek said, I also struggle with selling, but now I see it as a service, and along with service is your ability to price the value you provide. Yeah, that's my thought.
That's an important point, Bhavani, that show up when you, not just because you have money, but when you are ready to make that shift in your professional career. Vivek, why do you recommend Coaching Unlimited?
So plus 10 to Bhavani, what she mentioned about what you repeated also, Anirudh. So only if you are seriously you want to pursue coaching as a part of a career, if you just can't be at CU just to practice competencies, right? To practice competencies, there could be other avenues I'll not discuss here. But if you want to seriously pursue coaching as even part of your career, then go to CU, because that environment for those 3-4 days where you are working with a closed group, all of those people who are seriously pursuing coaching as their career, right? Unlike an ACC batch where everybody had come to explore coaching, PCC people are more serious, definitely. But when somebody comes to see you, then those people are already into business or want to enter business immediately. So you have to get the best use of that, and to get the best use, you need to participate equally like all other people there. So only if you want to pursue coaching as a career, go to CU, one of the best platforms I would say you should go and do learn mastery there. And about business, those 1 to 2 days about business, if you don't know how to take coaching as a business, then no other platform I would say would talk to you about coaching as a business. People like PK, people like John, people like Subhash, already master coaches, already doing successful business. Who other than can talk to you about coaching as a business better than them? So, as Bhavani said, and I just tried to add whatever I could add, if you're serious, go to it and do it. Don't think twice. But if you're not serious, if you don't are not very serious with coaching as a career, don't go. Save your money, save your time, save everybody's time. That's important. Yeah.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Bhavani. I must say, I really enjoyed today's live. It felt more, there was a lot of ease for me to partner with you in this conversation. If I may summarize what both our coaches here have said today, dear viewers, coaching and the business of coaching, they are like the two sides of the same coin. If you have a if you have a very satisfactory product and you're great at sales, one day the market will realize and stop rewarding you. And the other way, if you have a fantastic product but you have no sales, then it's as good as a product not remaining in existence. Both go hand in hand, and Coaching Unlimited can help you with that. Our next edition is in Bengaluru. You can comment on this post. We will reach out to you. We'll help you. Thank you, Vic. Thank you, Bhavani, for taking out the time. And we hope to see you soon in one of the upcoming editions as well. See you next week, viewers. Until then, have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.